Hello, hello, hello. What's up, everyone? Just had a brain freeze for 2 seconds there, so I think I started the live a couple of seconds earlier than I spoke. Well, I just have a shit intro as usual, but hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well and had a fantastic weekend. I can already see Jean-Pierre in the chat. I hope you're doing very well, my friend. It's good to see you. So I guess everything is good, right? Good you are back. Everything is good. Hope you had a great weekend. I had a great weekend as well. Thank you for asking. Bit tired as always, but very excited for the week ahead because we are getting the move that we were waiting for with the exact timing that we talked about back on Thursday. We recap everything, of course. Don't worry if anyone is new. Do you have any strong level around 84.7? We'll talk about this. Hello, Rojek. Hello, Kaju. Am I reading your name right? I think it's Kaju. But anyway, welcome everyone. Of course, Merry Christmas. It's a bit early, but I hope that everyone is spending Christmas with their family, friends, whatever you have around you. Of course, remember what Christmas is all about: celebrating the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But with that said, we can now dive into everything, and yeah, as usual, we'll start with the announcements, then we'll dive into the weekly recap, and finally we'll dive into today's price action. So for the recap, this week will be fairly quick because I didn't do much. So last Sunday, I just took a quick short position. So that was technically last week, but it was based off of the fractal that we had shared on Friday. I didn't do a live stream last Sunday, so that's why I'm talking about this trade. And after that, most of the week, I was just waiting for that support below, which was around $87,000. We didn't get it for the entire week, plus we had the FOMC, so I was not too interested in trading. We got a very nice pump before the FOMC, topped out before the FOMC with 2 4-hour imbalance on Bybit, 1 4-hour imbalance on Binance, and it didn't look very good. Of course, I did take a note of this, but I didn't short. Bit of a mistake in hindsight, of course, because it was still on our resistance at $94,000. And of course, right before the FOMC, I did end up fully closing my long position around $92,000, which did end up being the right decision because today Bitcoin is sitting at $88,000, so $4,000 below my exit. And after that, I just didn't do much. Okay, I did outline one more support, but then we did reach it. We had no reaction, of course. And yeah, didn't do anything else for the rest of the week. On Thursday, we did upload an update, and this is what I wanted to see. Sideways price action. If you go and watch the video, I want to see sideways price action to then see a drop into Monday, into our support, to then see a reversal to the upside. And if you go over to the charts, as you can see, we did go sideways. Of course, we did get a bit of a nice bounce, but still at the end of the day, this is sideways price action. We didn't take out any high, and we came back down exactly where we started. And today, Bitcoin is moving to the downside. Why are you tired? Well, because my sleep schedule is pretty it's pretty out of hand. I never sleep well, but doesn't really matter. I guess I'm used to it. So with that said, I did forget about the announcements, by the way. So as you guys know, if you want to trade with a 30% fee discount on Bitunix, the referral link will be in the description of the live stream. And of course, if you want to get access to our imbalances, which can of course help you find very good support and resistance levels, as we did down there, and also predict very good highs, as it did on both of these highs with 2 4-hour imbalances. The link will also be available in the description of the live stream. So that's it for recap. That's it for the announcements. We can dive into today's price action. So I think you guys know what I'm going to say next because not much has changed. If you watch Thursday's update, which we did right there, we got the sideways price action. Okay, let me show you one more time. We got the sideways price action, and we are now dropping into support going into Monday. So with that said, tomorrow will be a fairly important day for me, of course, if we can continue that drop to the downside. The first thing to note, of course, is that we do have a 4-hour imbalance, which is a weekend imbalance, right? Usually when you have high time frame imbalances on the weekends, you do tend to recover these ones. On top of that, you do have a CME gap at, is it at, I think it's at exactly $90,000, right? This should be the CME gap at $90,100. So you have the CME gap above, you have three imbalances that will get recovered in my opinion. You're jumping into support. So the plan for this week will be fairly simple. Of course, ideally we would drop while leaving the CME gap behind because that would give us another confluence to look for a bounce higher. And my first target will be around $96,000. Okay, so I'm still looking at this wick, this ugly wick that we talked about in the past. I do believe that this one will get filled. Okay, if I zoom in and show you, we have this very ugly wick, which once again will get filled in my opinion. In my opinion, is just about, do we fill the midpoint or do we take out the liquidity and then reverse to the downside? We'll have to see if and when we get there. If we don't get there, of course, it is what it is. But for me, my expectation is very heavily biased on the medium time frame to the upside. Because as you guys know, on the higher time frames, I am expecting lower prices and a break back below this low and a break back below $74,000, which was the low that we put in April. Hello mate, nice to see you again. Hello Emperor, I hope you're well. Do you think being a trader has a negative impact on your sleep? Not really. I don't like, most of the trades that I take are not during Asia. So the Asian session, most of the trades that I take will be usually, if I remember well, most of the time it will be either before New York, so during the London session, or it will be late on the New York session, as we had on the all-time high, for example, on this Tuesday high. Last Monday low again was the same time. So usually, no, it doesn't really affect my sleep. It's just that personally, I don't have the best discipline when it comes to that. But yeah, with that said, we can remove all of these. This was the 2 Sundays ago we had this plan. The fractal as well right now, I do believe that it is invalidated. Because after this pump and dump, as you can see, now we did actually take out the high, which was what was outlined in the fractal, but did happen a bit. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. You have a high, drop, deep retrace, high, drop, deep retrace, drop. So I don't know. That was a good fractal to end everything. It's just, of course, right there. This last leg played out a bit earlier than expected. So very good fractal in the end, but now I think we can remove it. I don't think that is too relevant anymore. For this Sunday plan, very simple. We're gonna look at a Monday to Tuesday Asian session low. Let me mark it out on my chart. So let's put it right there. I think that's when you look for the low. Of course, look at this as an area. On the time, it could be a bit before. It could be a Tuesday morning low. But overall, drop into this time pivot and then offer a reversal to the upside. Let me fully draw it out. And of course, we will talk about some other plans in case this doesn't play out. Okay. And then reverse towards $96,000. And this would be my main Sunday plan. So let's put this in a group. Sunday plan. Hey, that would be it. Fairly simple. Now, of course, we do have to be aware of a couple of things. If we move up first, I still do heavily believe that we will test the support. So if we move up first, maybe somewhere around $92,000 could offer a reversal. So if we move up into tomorrow, then I will look for that reversal to the downside. I'm not too sure this will happen, so I'm not going to outline it, but just in case it happens, anyway, I will be updating you tomorrow inside the Discord. Right now, what I want you to be aware of is the closest level and the one trade that could happen very soon, which will be around this support area. If you lose this, okay, so if you lose the support area, I'd be much more cautious on the longs, and that's when we could look back at the Elliott wave count that we talked about a while ago. Okay, so that would be on the Elliott wave, which would be, let's go on the 12 hour. Remember, I talked about an extension. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So that would be 3, 4, 5. So if we take out the low now, I will still look for a move back up above these highs. For the second wave 4, so it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we will continue down in a wave 5. Okay. So right now, of course, until we take out these highs, I will be looking for long positions mainly. We could have looked for a short. I could have looked, at least for myself, I could have looked for a short at $94,000, which was my first resistance. As you can see, this one did really hold up very beautifully. One high, two highs, three highs. But overall, I am fairly confident that this one will get taken out. We have a very ugly wick. We have a double top. This high just doesn't look good in my opinion. So the first question was, do you have any strong levels around 84.7k? My answer to that would be no. If we lose my support, I will be very cautious on the long positions. I know that some people are looking for these lows to get taken out. Okay, so to break below 86.1 and then reverse, but for myself, I just wouldn't like this setup. I would kind of like to leave these lows alone, bottom out here, and then see a reversal to the upside. When if we lose the support, then of course I will have to reanalyze my plan and see if I still give a shot at a long position or just completely stay out of the market. Why are you? Do you think being nope? Hello, nice to see you. Okay, so at the lower time frame, you expect a higher low and higher high on BTC. Yes. I would like to see this low hold. I did talk about this, I think, on this stream that we did on Sunday. I did say when we gave this support, okay, so when we gave this support and we had one more at $87,000, I did say that we would leave this low alone, in my opinion, which has played out very well. I did take the long and fully closed it, as you all know. So for now, yes, I would like to see kind of this low maintained. If we lose the support, of course, I might change my view, but until this happens, I don't have to reanalyze my plan. If we lose the low, I don't have anything to do because, of course, I'm not going to short the breakdown. So I will just have to reanalyze my plan, possibly upload a YouTube update and let you know what I'm looking for next. But for now, it's pretty simple. The timing is good. The support is good. We talked about everything. So yeah, I don't think I have much else to say. Could you please take a look at the levels for ETH? We will. What would be the bearish scenario if you lose 86k? If you lose 86k, I mean, I talked about this, I guess. Maybe you asked this question before I covered the Elliott wave. But if we lose 86k, I would still be aware of a long below $80,000. Okay, so a failed auction below that low would still be very acceptable for a final wave 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 on this low, 4 and 5. If that's a bit complicated, of course, let me know, guys. But I mean, I have one support, and then if we lose it, I will go back to this count on the Elliott wave count. So I don't think it should be too complicated to understand. If it is, let me know, and I will take more time to talk about it. Do you have a scenario where the CME gap gets closed first today and then a drop? It is possible, but I don't know, I wouldn't like it. I really wouldn't like it. It is possible, don't get me wrong, it is very possible, but I guess we'll have to see. Close the CME gap and then drop? I don't know, man. I don't know. Possible, but not my ideal plan. The reason for that is not so much for the CME gap, but more so for the imbalances, right? I would like to leave these imbalances alone to target them when I open a long position down there. On the other hand, if you fill these imbalances and then drop, now of course we could form other imbalances while dropping, so maybe that would be okay, but I don't know. For now, I would love to leave those behind to target them for a reversal to the upside, for a first reversal to the upside. So yeah, I guess we'll have to see if we bounce and then drop. Not much will change because my support wouldn't change, but yeah, I guess it's something that you could keep in mind. So that said, I guess that would be it for Bitcoin. Okay, jump into support, first target around $96,000. If you break above it, I'm gonna look for around $99,000 towards $102,000. Okay, so this area above will be fairly interesting. Strongest level, if we break above this, will be, in my opinion, 99.5. And then, of course, I still think around 102 will be fairly interesting. But we don't need to cover these for now. I think this initial move is what you have to focus on. If we lose the support, I will have to reanalyze. And well, if we bounce, I will just be in a long position and then just wait. So with that said, we can move on to Ethereum. And well, for this one, I think you guys know because I did share it in the general chat when someone asked me. To say that this one played out exactly as predicted would be an understatement. So this scenario was shared on the 30th of November, so on Sunday when you did the live. What I wanted to see was a job to get a pump into these two resistance levels and then see a rejection to the downside. And guess what happened? We got the job, we got the reversal into the first level, and we got an extremely nice rejection to the downside. If anyone did take this short, well, it would have been a massive win until now. A drop of, well, to the low, it's almost 11.5%. So massive drop from our resistance, got respected very well on the lower time frames. We did have two early imbalances. The higher time frames that we have didn't have a 12-hour imbalance, but yeah, I think it looked very good. I mean, 1 hour you have two imbalances with the wicks under resistance. I think this is good enough. And yeah, after that, you can see it was just picture perfect right into resistance. And then we got the reversal lower. So I guess now on Ethereum, let's see. I'm gonna hide this because I do want to keep it for the future. What is this rectangle? That's way above. I can remove this. What is this? Was that my... Oh, that was the target for the bull market that didn't play out. What about this? That was this low, this ugly low that we talked about. So nothing there for me. Okay, so let's see for Ethereum very quickly. Really open. Weekly. I mean, the big support to me does remain down there around 2.5. Okay. Okay, this wick is very ugly. So in my opinion, this wick will get taken out. Pretty much right on this level at 2,900, we will take out that wick on Ethereum, in my humble opinion. So you could look for this wick once again. You do have the 4-hour imbalance down there. 12-hour. Okay, it's an open. 1 hour. Guess fairly similar to Bitcoin, I would guess, but then the drop would be much bigger on Ethereum. That would be your support on Ethereum, in my opinion. The problem is that if I'm expecting such, not really a small drop on Bitcoin, but pretty much at support on Bitcoin. We can make it a bit bigger just because it's so small. So if we go back over to Bitcoin, the support is pretty much right there. We're looking at a drop of like 2.5%. Support on Ethereum is pretty far away. 8%. So I don't know. I guess this should be your support for Ethereum, which I am expecting to get reached mainly because of this very ugly wick on the 4-hour chart that will get filled. So in the meantime, I guess you could look for something like this. Maybe front shun this low. Okay, front on this low, pump to fill this imbalance up there. And then you can look at confluence on that resistance. So it's a daily open, very good. It's a 12-hour open, 12-hour order block, 4-hour imbalance, 1 hour. That would be your resistance on Ethereum. Okay, so we can start to form a plan. Let me look at the volume profile. We have the value area high, that is perfect. We have the point of control. Oof. So we are coming up with a pretty nice plan on Ethereum. So for me, I would like this low to get front run. I don't know why, it's just an intuition, my intuition. Of course, I could be wrong, but in any case, look for the reversal. Just like Bitcoin, pump into resistance, and then come back down to hit this support below. Okay, boom. And then boom. Think that's what I would be looking for on Ethereum, guys. I like this scenario. I really like it. That's a very good level. That's a very good area below. Plus, it's a big psychological level. It's $3,000, so that's the biggest psychological level around. Yeah, I think that's what I would look for on Ethereum. What could you see? CME gap doesn't need to be closed immediately. We have the entire week for that. Indeed, I do agree with that take, Emperor. Could you check link? We will check link. Do you think it's easier for a beginner trader to take trades later in the week because you have more time to form market context? Not really, because when you're looking for major pivots in the market, usually they tend to happen around Monday or Tuesday Asia session. We can look at the all-time high. Guess when the high got put in? This was on Monday, very late in the day. As you can see the date below. Okay, if I move my mouse below, as you can see down there, Monday. Okay, Monday. That's on the 4-hour chart, so it doesn't seem as late, but it was around, for me at least, it was late. Okay, we took out the high after way after the New York Open, and then reversed to the downside. If you look at other highs, okay, both of these highs were put in on Monday, so that was Monday, that was later into Monday, and then you got the reversal to the downside. This high was put in on Monday, this high was put in on Tuesday. We can look at this high. It was on Tuesday as well. So this high once again was on Tuesday. And the trade that I took last week was on Monday. This high, well, this was on Wednesday. Okay, but you can see when you put in major pivots in the market, they tend to happen between Monday and Tuesday. So for myself at least, I don't really agree with that take. I mean, you can form context right here. You don't really need to wait for, I guess you could wait for the Monday range, yes, but sometimes, as you can see, you can miss massive trades like this short at the all-time high. Now you still got a retest on Tuesday, okay, so that would have been fine, but you can see that the high was put on Monday. Same thing right there, but you got a retest on Tuesday in any case. So I hope that you got the point there. Okay, it shouldn't be too complicated to understand. So on ETH, lower high than? Lower high than what? Lower high than 3,400? I think that's a very good rejection. For now, I'd say we could leave it alone. Of course, if we take it out again, then look for that second level around $3,500. But for now, this does look like a very good high. The volume was very good, even on the daily. You had an imbalance, but then price stopped right after it. Okay, so when you see a big move, especially with an imbalance, and that the next candle pretty much closes at the open, this is usually a signal for reversal to come. So I think this high looks good. I don't know. We'll have to see, of course, if we break above that resistance, then we can look at Ethereum again. ETH scenario looks perfect. Thank you. So now we can look at Link. Someone did ask about Link. Link. well, we didn't get the move up into resistance before dropping, so that's fairly unfortunate. Even the support didn't even come into play, but that was a while ago. When did we share this scenario? On the 9th of November. So this one didn't play out. I can remove it. This, well, you can see actually this imbalance did offer two very nice bounces, but I mean, the important one would be the first test. But I guess we can remove this, right? I mean, actually, it was a bit support, support, resistance, resistance. So that's a nice level. Can keep it. On link. I mean, guys, do you want me to say this again? You have this wick to the downside. Overall, I do believe that all the altcoins will come down and fail their wicks. So that's why, except Solana, which doesn't have the wick but still looks extremely weak, and Ethereum, which also doesn't have the wick, I would avoid most altcoins. Can we form a plan? I don't know, I don't see. I mean, this didn't do anything. Can remove this. I don't see anything great for Link, I have to be honest. Double bottom. I don't know, man. I don't think I see anything interesting on Link. You just have this imbalance up there, but yeah, 15.7. But yeah, I mean, it just looks weak, guys. You can see after this wick, it's just been high, lower, high, lower, high, lower, high, lower, high, lower, high. So I don't know. Do you want to be trading these altcoins? I'm sorry to not give a setup when I don't see one, but if I don't see it, there's no point for me to give you a bad setup. I think that would just be a bad thing to do. If I give you a bad setup, then why give it? I don't know. I don't see anything great on Link, I have to be honest. This resistance looks fairly interesting, around 15 and 16, 15.7 to 16.1. You can look at this area above, but it just looks weak, so I don't even know if it gets reached. You get my point? So I'm gonna move on from this coin. I'm sorry. I'm gonna give you a resistance to look at if you reach, but I don't know if you reach it or not. So that would be your resistance above. Just like this one, I guess, you know, if you reached it, it could have offered a nice short. But these coins are just weak and they're barely even offering like small bounces. So yeah, I don't see anything great on Link, I have to be honest. No worries, Habib. Thank you. I mean, thank you for understanding, I guess. I'm just sorry I don't see a setup. When I don't see a setup, I don't give one. So let's see. Price is dropping. If we can leave this 30-minute imbalance behind, that would be good. We can look at Binance as well. Do we have any 1 hour imbalance? No 1 hour imbalance. We have a 4 hour imbalance as well. 12-hour daily. Yup. Think fairly simple on Bitcoin. So if we don't have any more questions, I think we can do a quick recap and then can you take a look at gold and silver? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Gold, I mean, just keeps on moving up, I guess. Wait. I did see an imbalance. I mean, you can see every high on gold. At least, good. You can see 12-hour imbalance with a small body offered a reversal. 12-hour imbalance offered a reversal. The only one that didn't offer a high was this 12-hour imbalance. Even this one did offer a bit of a drop. And we have yet another one up here. Even these two you can see offered a bit of a drop and sideways price action. So on gold, I'm gonna be saying the same thing that I have been saying for a while. I would just keep an eye on the dollar, which I believe has bottomed. If I'm right on this and it goes up, everything will go down. The stock market, Bitcoin, gold, and silver. So it's just about looking at the dollar. Could we put in a lower high and then drop? I think it's possible. I don't know how many people would expect this. But I'm not a gold trader, so I don't have much insightful knowledge on the charts because I don't look at them this often. We can look at a previous bull market. We can look at this top. Let's go back in time. You can see right there, it was pretty much the same thing. We had a high, strong retracement, another high, so pretty much a double top, and then this was the start of the bear market. So maybe you could look at this behavior, come back to today, and say the same thing. You had the first high, strong retracement, strong drop, another retracement to the upside. Can we put in a double top before retracing to the downside? Of course, it's possible, but am I gonna trade gold? No. Is it easy to predict a top on gold? No. So I don't have much to say except if you're trying to invest in gold right now, I think it is an extremely bad time to do so. Even for silver, okay, for myself, I had bought silver. I even forgot where I bought silver, but I think somewhere around 28, somewhere in this range I bought silver, and I did sell some of it around $50. You can see price is higher, but I don't care. If you take a trade, you make profits and you close the profits, you shouldn't really care what happens next. So same thing on silver. We did talk about this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It does look like wave 3 wants to go higher, which is nice to see, of course. So yeah, silver does look extremely strong. I do have to say, silver does look very strong. Just be aware of the fact that volume is coming in at the highs. So not much to say on silver. Just like gold, it will be very dependent on the dollar. Very dependent on the dollar. Can see that when we got the bounce on the dollar, this is when you got the retracement on gold. If I add it over my chart, was it 1-to-1? We can look at it. What was I looking for? Why? Okay, so that was the bottom on the dollar, and then you went up. Yeah, it wasn't 1-to-1, I guess. The time was not. Yeah, it wasn't 1-to-1, I guess, but you can see that when the dollar started to go up, you got a bit of retracement on gold. Not 1-to-1 once again, so yeah. Can remove this. Just keep an eye on the dollar, guys. The most important asset in the world, in my opinion, will be the dollar. If you get a bull run in this asset, you can expect everything else to come down. Can you take a look at Solana? Yes, we can take a look at Solana. So it doesn't seem like we have any more questions after this. If you do, guys, send them in the live chat right now, because if we don't after this, I'm going to be ending the live. So if you have any more questions, send them in right now. Solana just looks weak. Solana just looks weak. You can see even the support that we had given a while back offered a bounce, but then we dropped below it. It flipped into resistance and then offered a reversal to the downside. I did tell you guys that if we go back towards this low that we had shared back then for the massive bounce, it's gonna be looking very bad for Solana. So in my opinion, I would expect much lower on Solana. So on Solana, probably a break back below $100, a break back below this low at $95,000 to be exact. So Solana on the higher time frames does look very weak. And guess what? We did also give you that resistance above. So if anyone took that short, I mean, yeah, that was a beautiful short to say the least. I mean, yeah, look. 50% drop from our resistance. 50% drop. So, beautiful resistance, massive drop. We have been calling most of the big pivots on Solana. We called this low, we called this low, we called this high, and we even called this one. It's not a big pivot, but still it was the intermediate low before we continued lower. So, beautiful predictions on Solana, I do have to admit. And yeah, for now, I would just expect lower. To the upside, you know what I'm going to say. If we can get the fill of this imbalance, this is the first thing that I'm looking at. I mean, that I can see we have an imbalance. Same thing on the 12-hour, imbalance plus order block. So if you can bounce back towards this area, then this could offer a very nice short position, of course. Yes, this does look like a very good area in my opinion. Do you have any volume? Not really, not really. No volume confluence. Actually, we do. We did have a bit of volume traded up there. So, yeah. Solana, I would hold off on the longs for a while, and that's what I would do on most altcoins. That's my view. If you disagree with it, then so be it. But that's my view. I would hold off on the longs on most altcoins, except if you can find a very strong support level. Um, this would be a good short if we can reach it. So around $155. Yep. If we can move into it, then this could offer a very nice short position. So just keep an eye on this area above. I just think that the longs are much easier to catch on Bitcoin. So just why not long Bitcoin and then just wait for the shorts on altcoins? Because look, if you waited for the short on Ethereum and you took it, well, this was a massive drop. So yeah, that's my view. That's probably gonna remain my view until proven otherwise. Probably that would probably mean maybe when Bitcoin breaks back above $102,000. But I don't really see that happening. So yeah, we just have these ugly wicks, guys. We just have these ugly wicks, and there's nothing I can do about it. So you hold a big percentage in dollars currently. Well, my stock portfolio is pretty much 80% cash right now. For trading, I mean, I just trade Bitcoin, so I'm pretty much always in cash, except when I take trades in stocks. Right now, I'm pretty much 80% cash. I told you guys about 2-3 weeks ago I did sell a lot of my stocks, including AMD, Robinhood, SoFi, PayPal. I was looking to buy a new. This one has moved up without me, which is kind of annoying. But maybe we can jump in the future and I can buy the stock. But yeah, I've sold most of my stocks right now. Okay, everyone. Bitcoin still going sideways. Come on, give us a bit of a nice drop. So with that said, it doesn't look like we have any more questions. So we'll end the stream right there. I will do a quick recap on Bitcoin. I am looking for a job tomorrow for a Monday low or a Tuesday morning low. I would really like the support level to hold. If we break below it, I would be very cautious on the long positions. So yeah, if we break below it for myself, probably I would look for a new low below $80,000, and that's why the support is so important to me. Of course, it doesn't have to be a straight line. If we drop and then bounce a bit, it doesn't mean that I'm wrong, at least for myself, because we can just drop, bounce, and then continue to the downside. But if we break below that level, I would be very cautious on the long positions. Once again, for this week, what I'm looking for is a drop into tomorrow or Tuesday to see a bounce to the upside. First target is around $96,000, and if we break above that resistance, I would be looking towards around $100,000. For Ethereum, the first plan played out beautifully. If I add it back on my chart, this plan was given a couple of weeks ago. We got the drop, we got the bounce into the first resistance, which offered a massive rejection. For now on Ethereum, I would expect lower prices as well, just because we have this very ugly wick on the 4-hour chart. If I show you again, we have this super ugly wick below, which will get taken out in my opinion. So if we can get a bit of a bounce going on Ethereum, you could look for the shorts up there for a reversal to the downside and a drop back into the support. And after this, we can look at the charts again and see what is the most likely thing to play out after that. So with that said, thank you everyone for tuning in. Can you have a look at UEC? Okay, last coin, guys. What's UEC? Is that on crypto? UEC? Is that it? eDroid? Is that UEC? If you could just confirm. Well, I'm gonna click on it because it doesn't seem like we have any crypto called UEC. A uranium stock. Okay, so that would be uranium energy. I mean, they're just missing everything. To invest in stocks, what I do is I first look at the balance sheet. So to give you a good analysis on the stock, I would have to look at the balance sheet. But the one thing I can check from the earnings is that they're still negative. So bit risky in my opinion. You're investing in a non-profitable company, I guess. Negative earnings. So yeah, but I do remember looking at uranium a while back, and the company that I was looking at, I didn't end up buying it, which was a massive mistake, was, what was it called? I think CCJ? Wait, let me show you. Just before we end the stream, guys, I just want to show you this in case anyone is interested in uranium. Oh, come on, where is it? Was it CCJ? CCJ? Yeah, that was it, Cameco. So that was a uranium stock, if I remember well. And I was looking to buy it on the drop on April as well. I did decide not to buy it, but still I bought massive stocks like Robinhood, like AMD, which offered massive returns. But you can see this one. Yeah, it was a big miss for me. Massive bounce to the upside. But if you're looking at uranium, if I'm not mistaken, and my memory serves me right, I was looking at this uranium stock. But at this point, you can see it's just so extended to the upside. Do you want to buy stocks at such high prices? It's your choice. Personally, I wouldn't do it. As I told you guys, I have sold a lot of my stocks, so I'm not buying up there. I'm just selling. If you want to do you can buy up there. But for UEC, I mean, the chart looks decent, looks very good. It's just I would have to look into the earnings and see if that's a good stock to invest in, at least for myself. I don't really do a lot of analysis on stocks because stocks are much more reliant on earnings, on investor sentiment, and so on, while Bitcoin is much more technical in my opinion, which is why I love to trade Bitcoin. But I think just just by looking at it, you can see imbalance down there to the dollar. You fill this imbalance literally to the cent, and it offered a bounce to the upside. So you can see that imbalances even on stocks offer massive trades. So apart from that, I cannot tell you much about this stock. It looks strong but overextended at the same time. So do you want to buy a company that has negative earnings after a massive move up? Personally, I would be very cautious about that. So that's all I can tell you from experience. That's what I can tell you about this stock. Okay, guys. Dude, stop calling me sensei. So with that said, thank you everyone for the live chat. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, Merry Christmas to everyone. Remember what this holiday is about. Once again, is to celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I am here in front of you guys thanks to the Holy Spirit. I will never say this lightly, and that's why I try to be as humble as possible and not scream everywhere around on Twitter when I catch a nice long or a nice short. That's what most people do. I think they're very annoying, and I think they're pretty sad in their life. So with that said, I'm not gonna yap on too much longer about that. Once again, thank you everyone. And with that said, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you tomorrow inside the Discord. Very quickly, I'm gonna put an alert at 87.3 before sleeping. Okay, so not right now. I'm gonna put an alert at $87,300 in case we get the low on Monday morning, but I would not like a Monday morning low. So that's one thing I want to say very quickly. Okay, but I'm done talking. See you tomorrow, mate. See you tomorrow, guys, and thank you once again for the live chats. If you could leave a like on the stream, don't forget to do so. And that's it. Good